Tamer Qarmout, who's an assistant professor of public policy at the Doha Institute for Graduate Studies. Welcome to the programme. What expectations do you have for this UN Security Council vote?
Maria, sadly, I don't have positive expectations because the U.S. stand so far is very clear on this conflict. The U.S. might veto this resolution again. So if the U.S. uses its veto, it will not see the light.
Tamer, why do we keep, or what does the UN Security Council then, or countries keep putting forward these resolutions? Because you're not my first guest or first person that just gives me that answer.
Because sadly, I mean, the UN represents the de facto political system that governs the globe, and the veto powers, they have the ultimate say in such decisions. So if the U.S. veto has been used on many occasions, and if it's going to be used again, it's not going to give any prospect for this decision. However, it's still, nevertheless, it's still important to see the world support as a measure when it comes to these mechanisms, UN resolutions. So far the U.S. has been very isolated with Israel on the global stage, and I don't think this is good news for the U.S. Because the U.S. claims to be a superpower. It's a democratic. It's one of the largest democracies in the world, and so for them to be isolated in the UN General Security Council, it's not good news for the U.S. as well.
And the U.S. Secretary of Defense, he just arrived there in Israel. What hopes do you have for any pressure that he can put more than 70 days into this war on Gaza?
Maria, the problem here is that we have two conflicting goals. So from one side, you have Israel and the U.S. who want to, both of them, they want to prolong the war on Gaza. However, the U.S. wants a softer approach to war. And then you have Hamas on the other side, which wants a permanent ceasefire, a withdrawal of Israeli forces from the Gaza Strip, and then it will be willing to engage with negotiations to release captives. But so far, the two conflicting goals, there is a huge gap between them. So I'm really not sure how would this go. It's I'm personally pessimistic because there's so many challenges, and the gap between the two parties are really it's a wide gap. So I'm not sure how will they meet in the middle. If the Israelis will not commit to a permanent ceasefire, what's the incentive for Hamas to engage in a discussion or in talks to release the Israeli captives, while the Israeli killing machine are still doing its business in Gaza?
And Tamer, do you think the killing of their own people, the Israeli military killing 3 Israeli captives a few days ago, do you think that was a turning point?
I think it's a critical point, but I wouldn't say it's a turning point for 2 reasons. First of all, the Israeli army on daily basis are losing are losing people, in their own people in the Gaza Strip, and the Israeli society by large is still pro-war. They want to see an end of Hamas. And on the other side, you see the families of the captives who are protesting now in Israel and putting more pressure on the government. So, to be honest, the Israeli government position from where I see it is just they're playing on the two dividing camps, more or less. The public pressure to continue the war and the families of the captives. But so far, they're just buying time, and more or less, in my opinion, they're just pretending that they're willing to engage in negotiations to release the captives. But I don't think the conditions have matured yet for this to happen on the Israeli side.
Tamer, thank you so much for your time and your analysis today. Tamer Qarmout speaking to us there from Doha. Thank you.